I'm David Katz from ThePostGame.com, and today we are honored to be joined by NBA legend Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem, thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So now is the time when I like to embarrass you, Hakeem, by listing some of your incredible achievements. So, for those of you who don't know, who've been living under a rock, Hakeem Olajuwon played in 3 NCAA Final Fours, becoming the top pick in the 1984 NBA Draft. You appeared in 3 NBA Finals, winning 2 championships, and you were named a 2-time NBA Finals MVP. You were also voted League MVP in 1994. You have an Olympic gold medal. You were named one of the top 50 NBA players of all time. And oh yeah, you're also in the Hall of Fame. So just a few accomplishments there. We can't thank you enough for being on the Post Game Network today.
Wow, thank you so much. That sounds impressive. Who's that guy?
Well, we're going to find out over the next few minutes here. So Hakeem, it seems like you've been on a whirlwind lately. I know you've been in New York for the NBA draft, and then you came out here to Los Angeles to have a little conversation with Dwight Howard on behalf of the Houston Rockets. How
Yes.
did the meeting go with between Houston and Dwight?
Well, I don't think it can go. Have gone any better because Dwight was he was looking forward to the opening, and we were the first one. So and he saw all the familiar faces, you know. So he was very welcoming, excited, and seeing that the Rockets, have all the necessary things that it takes, to be a true contender, and that's what's really is really looking for. So the presentation was amazing. Where we went with all of the guys, with Clyde Drexler, myself, Dikembe, tuning, call from China. I mean, the owner. I mean, he knows that we do everything that's necessary to let him know how important he is to be a part of the Houston Rocket team.
So what was the atmosphere like? You walked in the room. What did it feel like? Was there tension? What was the vibe inside?
I mean, it was in the beginning, even before getting there, it was like a little tense and nervousness. But as soon as we entered the room, how welcoming it was, just make everything so smooth. And it's like, it was happy that we were coming to get him, really. That's the attitude. And that's the environment where everybody feels so relaxed. And, it was more easy and talking about, the familiar words of, we know you, for yourself, as a big man, we're going to come to you. You're going to get the ball. You have James Harden there. You have the backcourt. You're going to get the ball. The coach was there, knowing that we need your presence in the middle. So we were speaking his language, and this is what he wanted. So he was so excited. And also the city of Houston, how much better, economic-wise, less expensive than LA. All the tax benefits that if you truly want to win championship, this is the right team for him. And I think he feels the sincerity that this is a true opportunity that he can make something special.
It's great. What do you think, no matter what team he ends up on next year, what do you think Dwight needs to do to succeed wherever he goes?
Well, first of all, I think he needs to be comfortable, knowing that there are a lot of expectation because his position is a primary position, for any team. It's the foundation of any team. So he needs to accept that responsibility. And when you play with a team that look for you to establish yourself before they can establish as a team, then that makes him more comfortable knowing that, you know, his role is so valuable to any team. And he has all the capabilities, the talent to make that happen.
So with all that, where do you think he ends up?
Uh, well, I think Houston has the most legitimate shot. I would think it's 85% chance that we end up in Houston. But you never know. But after that meeting we had, I felt very comfortable that we have the best chance to get him.
Great. Let's move on. I want to talk a little bit about playing in the post. Can you tell us a little bit about your summer's post moves training sessions that you've been doing with other NBA players?
Uh, well, it's been really interesting. I don't realize how much fun it is to teach. But when you're working with some great talents, where we can take the basketball into another level, not just playing with basic moves, to go into more of advanced, complicated moves to execute a certain condition. And when you work with these guys, just seeing the development of the first day, where we start breaking down moves, and first of all, is the demonstration. Then you break it down. Then imitation of the moves. Then repetition until it becomes natural. Then to see them so comfortable the second day, the third day, where it becomes more natural. Mm-hmm. So the goal is always how to create space so you can get your shot off, how to freeze your guy so you can get the shot uncontested. Those are the kind of technical moves that you have to do to make the game much easier for them.
I've seen some of your videos on your YouTube channel, youtube.com/dreamshake, where the
Yes.
E and the A is a 34 in honor of your number, so Dream 34 Shake. And it looks like you could go out there today and play and become an all-star, by next year. You still got the moves, Hakeem.
Well, you don't lose the moves. It's the recovery period. Because first of all, conditioning to be in shape in order for me to demonstrate. I think it's very important when the players, when they come down, they have high regard and respect that you've done it before. But it's different when you still demonstrate it in their presence so they can see what you're trying to accomplish, and they guard you so they can see the effect of the moves on the opponents. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's so important for me to stay in shape so you can really demonstrate it. So if they do it and you don't feel satisfied, you go back and demonstrate it again to show what you try to accomplish. So I've been enjoying my summer, exploring with the guys.
That's great. So you played during an era of great big men in the NBA, and there were a lot of great matchups. It doesn't seem like the big men of today are quite as dominant as you were back in your day with some of the other centers that you played against. What do you think that the big men of today may be missing, or how has the game changed so it's not featuring them quite as much?
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of articles those talking about the big man role, or the game is changing, which is impossible for the game to change because this position is primary, is the foundation for any team. Now the question is having that quality big man that can really give the team the presence that it needs. For example, let's talk about defense. On defense, a big man should be a shot blocker. Is in the middle. So now his role is to reject all the shots that are not legitimate. Everybody that score a basket, that basket must be a legitimate point. Any illegitimate points should be rejected. So it creates a lot of problem right there in the middle. Then rebounding. Everything that come off the glass, boxing out, he had the first opportunity, the first chance to get the rebound. You know, blocking shots, getting a rebound, intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
Intimidation is a huge part of the game. That's just on defense. Now we go on offense. He's the primary focus of offense. He has to have his post moves. So when you get the ball in the post, try to get the other big man in foul trouble. So he forces double team and triple team, which creates a big problem for the opponent because they have to leave their guys, 2-3 guys have to leave a shooter to go and double and triple team, which give a wide open shots. So he creates his own shots and then create opportunities for the rest of the team. So how many positions in basketball that can give you that much in the game of basketball? So the game cannot go away from that. Now it's more of a developing that quality big man, which is always rare. You know, now it's norm. Big men come every once in a while. A great big man will come. Then you have a team, a championship team, for 10 years. Then another time you see another big man comes. But our time was very unusual to have quality big men at the same time.
Yeah.
That was very unusual. It wasn't the norm. The norm is now. That's why before, if a big man can just run down the floor, can block shot, he'll be drafted as a project because it's lack of big men. But today, we're back to the same cycle where the big men are very few that are real dominant big men. You know, so it's norm. It's always very difficult because once you start getting to be a 7-footer, you start to lose coordination, that skills, you know. So, but when you find a solid big man, you have a foundation.
Do you think that the fact that players were coming out of high school right into the pros, and then today they're not forced to stay in college beyond 1 year, do you think the lack of time in college is contributing to these big men not developing quite as much?
Oh, well, I think that just that will contribute to more of the lack of experience for the rookies for the first couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is the advantage of playing in college? Is by playing basketball, competition, the social skills, all the things that you have to learn. And the college coaches are very, very tough and very demanding. So they prepare them really for the pros. But if you skip that part, that means they have to learn that in the pros, which is a different game. Mm-hmm. So only very few that will go from high school that can really excel in the first year or the first few years. Mm-hmm. That's unusual. But the big men, I think it's just the size and the concentration of teaching fundamentals. Because big guy, when they put in the position of center, the movement is very limited in the middle. But I'd like to work on a big man away from the post. Mm-hmm. So be more mobile and more skilled. So when you put him in the post, he will have to use the same skills to maneuver, to go away from the basics, to make more advanced and complicated moves in traffic. But in order for you to learn that, you must be very skillful. So you can play forward, small forward, power forward, and center. those positions are intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
If you face up, you're a small forward or power forward. If you back up, center. So if you're playing against a guy that's taller than you, you should face up on him. If you're bigger, then you can post him. So you have to have different moves for different solutions for different problems. So you need some more of a big, skillful guy that understand the game and play to his strength. You know, and most of the time, the big men we have advantage on every given night because you know you can dominate the board, you can block shots, and they have to double team you. Mm-hmm. So every time you play, you create more problems than any other position in the game.
So let's talk about one of your star pupils, a guy named LeBron James, who's been in the news a little bit lately. So he had not won any championships. He then goes and trains with you in the summer at your academy, and all of a sudden he goes on and wins 2 consecutive championships. What were those workouts like with LeBron? And I'm giving you full credit for his success.
Yeah. I don't know. But I think LeBron, I mean, is an incredible talent, very strong, he's skillful, he has the ball handling skills. Can you imagine then bring all those skills also? Because most of the night is bigger than the guy that's guarding him. So he should take advantage of his size in the post for his advantage. And that's what he was keen to learn, that I want to have that option to complete my game. So that was a huge compliment for me that he felt like I can teach him something. So, and we had a great time.
What other players are going to be working out with you this summer?
This summer, Amari's supposed to be coming back. Dwight's supposed to come. Then we're talking to Oklahoma with Baka or maybe Kevin Durant. So we have a few class of guys that can benefit.
So how much did growing up playing soccer help you with your footwork? You're an artist with your footwork. How much of that was driven by soccer?
I think that was the foundation, the instincts, you know, how to react and reflect, how to freeze a guy. Those things, you can't teach it. You know, you can teach the mechanics of it, but now the execution, you have to feel it. And that's what's so much fun when I'm working with the guys, when we're teaching the mechanics and doing it live play. Now they bring their own instincts to the moves. Then they can really see the difference, how effective that move is.
Great. Let's switch gears for a second and talk about some fun stuff. Style and fashion, because I know that's important to you. So you brought some style points to the NBA draft in 1984 when you wore a tuxedo. I wanted to know, is it true that you brought Versace to the United States before it was popular?
Well, I wouldn't say I brought Versace, but when I was wearing Versace, because Versace was very popular in Nigeria when I came, and I was so surprised that a lot of people they have not heard of Versace or Giorgio Armani, you know. And I was very surprised because I was wearing GA, which is Giorgio Armani, and people were kind of surprised that if it wasn't Polo, they didn't think it was, you know, acceptable in that level. I said that was a difference because I don't want to wear what everybody's wearing. Giorgio Armani, Versace were straight. As you can see, they get popular in the 80s in America, but they've been popular for many, many years before people get to know them. Now, when people start wearing Versace, I have to switch. I have to find some, you know, it's like the NBA. Everybody want to draft a player that's already known. It's no brainer. But when you go find somebody that nobody knows, but you put him, you know, only the selected, only for the collectors. It's like watches. Watches, everybody knows Rolex. But when you talk about Breguet or Patek Philippe, they don't know about them. But these watches are the best in the world for the collectors. You know, that's an example. So you look for things that when you're wearing Patek Philippe or Breguet.
So I now feel like I've become Joan Rivers and we're on the Oscars red carpet. So since you want to do things differently, who are you wearing now?
Right now?
What's the new cool style that we should all know? Yeah.
That's a tough one. I mean, in what sense? It depends on which occasion also.
For fancy occasions, what are you wearing these days?
Well, you know, you have a lot of brand now.
For occasions, who do you like to wear these days?
I mean, right now, you know, first of all, you have to go to custom for us. You can't buy from the rack, you know. So you have to go to custom, and you know, we have the best of fabrics now, you know. But we don't talk about like maybe Zegna, Brioni, Tom Ford. That's why when I place Dream as my brand, these are my standards: Brioni, Tom Ford. I mean, Zegna. You know, these are the standard for suits wear, for formal wear. Maybe Ralph Lauren, black label, purple label, in that sense. But when you go customs, you get a chance to create your own, nice. You know, of style that is unique, you know, without doing anything crazy. Elegance, simple, and very dressy.
So speaking of crazy, what do you think of the current NBA fashion style that you see on the podium and post-game press conferences?
Well, you know, I understand because they are entertainers, so they are making some bold moves, which is understandable. It's fashion, so it's acceptable. You know, it's a lot of bold, not corporate, but entertaining. You know, and I like that the NBA is bringing some of the players now, they have that confidence and attitude to execute that. It's fashion. So I'm very happy to see those areas, you know. But that's not my style. But at the same time, I appreciate and understand it.
So let's talk a little bit about the globalization of basketball. So you showed up at the NBA draft and you surprised David Stern on your 30th anniversary of being the #1 pick. How hard was it to keep that secret and surprise him out on the stage?
Well, the NBA, I mean, they did a fantastic job by keeping it secret because nobody really knows until I showed up. So they did a great job by keeping it secret, you know. And that was so much fun. I cannot imagine not being there. Because when you look at when we're taking a picture, you know, this is the commissioner with the #1 draft choice. So the picture was the first and the last pick of the draft for the commissioner. That picture was powerful when I saw that. I mean, so I think it was a great night. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very, very, very happy that you know, I made it there.
That's great. So one of Stern's legacies is that he was able to push the NBA into other parts of the world. What do you think is the next step in terms of the globalization of basketball?
Well, I think just, you know, they have to continue the growth, which is very difficult because, I mean, but now the new age of the apps, the internet, you know, different way of marketing, you know, China is, you know, just getting started, you know, trying to go to start basketball in India, and all the other basketball countries that are new. The Philippines are huge in basketball, just to make it accessible, where they can watch NBA basketball, they can watch college basketball, and of course the pros now in the Olympics, the World Games, all these things are giving the global stage for people to see basketball in the highest level. I think that's really helping. I mean, like the championship, NBA championship was a great series, a true championship series, which was a global audience. And that's what needs to continue to maintain the growth of basketball globally.
So you live in the country of Jordan for part of the year. What is it about Jordan that appealed to you as a
Well, a
country?
friend of mine was living in Jordan when I visited him, and I fell in love with Jordan, first of all, a lot of historic places in Jordan. The weather is like California. And, you know, the simplicity of the lifestyle, I fell in love with the simplicity. When I went there after the season, and I was so surprised that I see kids going to school, walking to school, you know, uh, without, we're very safe. That was like when we were growing up, we used to walk to school. Then all of a sudden, I won't let my kids walk to school now. Then you see when you're driving down the street, people will wave you down to get a ride. I won't give anybody a ride anymore. So all these things still exist. And I was very surprised that, wow, this is incredible. That this is part of the lifestyle. You can still give somebody a ride and it's safe. You can allow your kids to go to school, walking to school, back with no problem. So the safety area, I was very impressed by that. The weather was incredible. No air conditioning. Just open the window for the breeze. So I said, well, I want to spend summer here. So I used to train in Jordan in the summertime. So I said to myself, once I retire, I'm going to base here and come back to the States every once in a while. So that's what I did.
Great. So are they now big basketball fans in Jordan because of you?
Well, they love basketball. Basketball is huge there. And in fact, they won the Asian about 3 years ago. But the problem that they have there is size. They don't have big men. They have all these guards in between players that's skilled, but no big guy, no 7-footers.
You'll have to recruit.
Exactly.
So I'd love to end this conversation with a bunch of what I call quick hitters.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a bunch of quick questions, and you give me the first answer that comes to your mind, okay?
Yeah.
Great. So you grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. What were your favorite sports teams growing up?
Oh. Well, we call the Green Eagle. That's the national team of Nigeria. Very tough team. And of course, Liverpool. We watch a lot of British soccer. Liverpool, yeah.
Got it. So if you weren't a basketball player and you had to choose another profession, what would you have wanted to pursue?
Maybe an architect. I love design.
Great. What's a fun fact about you that people don't know but should?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I guess funny. I think I'm very funny. Where people they get to know me, they realize that I'm very funny.
What's your greatest fear?
Wow. My greatest fear. My greatest fear. My greatest fear is just protecting my children, making sure they make the right decisions. I'm always fear of to help them understand so they can make right decisions, so they can be successful in their life.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, is to make us all live together in peace. You
That's a
know?
very noble superpower. In the movie of your life, what actor plays you?
I don't know. I guess you have to find the right character, that fit that fit the role. I mean, I don't know, you know, because you don't really know yourself how you're perceived by people unless you start hearing good things about you. You wonder, just like when you introduce all my accomplishments, I was wondering who you were talking about, you know.
What? Okay, so forget who's playing you. I'm sure it's someone very, very handsome. What's the
Well,
name of
wow.
this movie?
Well, it can be coming to America. That's number one. Or American Dream.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what's an ideal date night with Hakeem Olajuwon?
Wow. Well, first of all, is to I mean, getting to know, you know, people in general, and to make people feel comfortable to be themselves. So, we can really benefit from the time spent, to learn about each other and something of value that we can take away from that dinner, where you can feel like it's something that you remember, that it's not just another dinner with somebody else, you know. So to learn about life and important things that we can benefit from to make our life much easier and more enjoyable.
What's your favorite food?
I like sushi. Sushi, I eat a lot of rice, you know,
Um, peanut butter. Do you like crunchy or smooth?
smooth. I always like anything that's smooth.
Like your post moves.
Well, thank you so much.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Well, it's been a long time that I listen to music, but I used to love jazz.
Hmm. What's your favorite car?
Well, I like German engineering, so we say Mercedes.
Okay. You're extremely well traveled, but if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
Well, I mean, I like wherever is tropical, I, as long as you have good weather. Weather play a primary role for me, where it changes the mood in the good weather.
Hmm.
So, anyways, there's tropical. I mean, if you talk about, there's so many beautiful places in this world. But the most important thing also, you have to be safe. You feel safe, and you can enjoy, your environment in a way where you're not afraid of for your wife or your kids or your friends when you're there. So you can be in a beautiful place, but you don't feel secure.
Hmm.
So there's so many beautiful countries, beautiful places, and what's so nice now is we get to travel on a global level with no hassle. So I love the traveling to seeing different culture, different people, imagine how they live their lives.
Hmm.
Interesting. You know, when I travel to any city and you see people, the natives, walking around, going about their daily lives, it's very intriguing to me to see how people live. You know,
Hmm.
so I enjoy experiencing those kind of situation.
When you were playing, did you have any pregame rituals or superstitions?
Well, it's routine, meaning night before to get good night rest. That's the most important for me. Once I'm rested, the rest is just basketball now. So routine, making sure night before, go to bed on time, and to eat my meal in the afternoon about 3 4 hours before the game, and eat the same thing of a lot of pasta, so you feel light. So once I get good night's sleep, it reassure my confidence level. I'm well rested. Now you feel secure. So that's the main thing for me. But if it's back to back where you don't really get enough rest, then you go into the game insecure, that you feel like you're not well rested. Then you have to do the collateral damage, just trying to survive that game.
What was your favorite moment as a player?
There's a lot of great moments. And of course, the most memorable is the final whistle of the first championship. Because you've been there so many times, you've been close, and to finally won it, and especially against a team that also are capable of winning it. It was a true championship series. So it was, when you hear the final whistle of the game was over, and you see everything dropping from the stands, that's a picture that you never forget.
That's great. What's the best piece of advice you ever got from one of your coaches?
Well, my first NBA coach, it's interesting. He sent me a popcorn machine, because his primary focus when he was coaching me is to stay down. Don't go for the pump fakes. Stay down. So always telling me, stay out of the popcorn machine. Stay out of the popcorn machine. So he sent me a popcorn machine, written on it, from popcorn machine to Hall of Fame. So, so his advice is to pick my battles, stay on the ground, don't go after everything, be selective. Because as a shot blocker, you anticipate every move. So to teach a shot blocker to stay down is very difficult, because you want to contest everything. So one of his best advice is getting me to stay down. And of course, a lot of advice about the mental toughness, being yourself, the comfort level, the mental toughness in order for you to execute your game.
Mm-hmm.
So all the coaches that I've played for, each one of them have a different style and advice that I really benefited in my career.
Last question. When you think back on your career, what are you most proud of?
I think I'm proud of my career as a whole, because you can reach the top, but to maintain for a long time. I think I play in an era where the basketball was at the peak. You're competing against the highest level competition, the best players. And to look at my career as a whole, and the ups and downs, trying to get there and to finally get there and maintain. So when I look back of my career, you have no regrets except joy of a great success and a career, where you feel like, wow, I have a wonderful career. I maximized it. I enjoyed it. And now, up till today, I'm still enjoying by teaching this to all the young players. you know. So I look at my career, not I look at it as a whole, that you have a long and successful career.
Hakeem Olajuwon, thank you so much for being on the Post Game Network.
Thank you so much for inviting me.